Hi there, boys and girls. Welcome to our Writer's Crusade with me, your teacher, Misham Shideen. For our composition lesson, we will be looking at parts of a story, or we could say parts of a composition. The steps to ensure that we create a story that we can be proud of and others will enjoy reading. We will study various scenarios, ideas related to those scenarios, and appropriate words that can be used when writing a particular story. Now, in a typical composition, there are four basic parts which this composition must have. Do you know what these parts are? Let's find out. We have the heading, or we could say the title. And most times you hear people saying, what is the topic? We have the introduction, the main body, or we could also say the middle of the composition. And finally, we have the conclusion. Now, I want you to keep in mind that there are different types of compositions, such as narrative writing, descriptive writing, expository writing, persuasive or argumentative writing, and report writing. Now, I'm sure that you would have come across these different types of writings before, so you have some idea of what each of them are. Now, as we go on with our composition lessons, we will always touch on them to just refresh or review our memory. Although we have all these types of compositions or writing, you might want to say, the structure is by far the same or very similar. So let's go. What is the heading or the title? When choosing a title for your story or your composition, ensure it relates to the content of the story, what the story will be about. Some people wait until the story is completed to choose their title, and some do it before they begin. Now, you should try as far as possible to keep your title as short and to the point as possible. Now, there is no wrong way in the time of choosing a title, but it must be appropriate to the task or scenario of your composition. For some writers, choosing the title before they start the actual writing helps them to be reminded of what the story is based on. And this is because most times we are given a scenario and not a particular title. Let's look at a few scenarios and then try to write a title, or as we could say, a topic. Our Girls Guide captain decided to take us on a camping expedition. Write a composition on your camping experience. Highlight the most memorable part. Let's read that again. Our Girl Guides captain decided to take us on a camping expedition. Write a composition on your camping experience. Highlight the most memorable part. So when you read this scenario, what are some of the key points to help you choose a topic or the title? So what kind of trip are you going on, or where are you going? Yes, you're going on a camping expedition. Now the task in that scenario is to write a composition on your camping experience. Highlight the most memorable part. Now, from that, what title can you use? Now here we have a few titles or headings, as you may want to say, related to that scenario. Let's read them and let's see which one you may want to use. The first one, the best camping trip, or our last camping expedition. You could also use my favorite camping experience. If not, an expedition to remember. Or if you don't want any of those, you have an adventure to remember. Now, all of these titles are suitable titles based on the scenario, because the fact is you're going on a camping expedition or you're going on a camping trip, and since you're going somewhere, it can be termed as an adventure. So you are free to choose any one of those. Now here's another scenario. There are many amazing persons in my community, but there is one person who motivates me. Write a composition about someone you aspire to be like one day. Share 2 special things you love the most about that person. Let's take a few seconds and read that again. There are many amazing persons in my community, but there is one person who motivates me. Write a composition about someone you aspire to be like one day. Share 2 special things you love the most about that person. Now again, as you read that scenario, what are some of the key points that stood out to you? What are some of those points that help you to create your title? Let's look at it. There are many amazing persons in my community, but there is one person who motivates me. The task you're given is to write a composition about someone. Now, when you say write a composition about someone, the someone implies that you are writing about one person. And so you have to write about someone you aspire to be like one day. And you also have to share 2 special things you love the most about that person. So here are some suggested titles related to that scenario. We have My Role Model, or Someone I Admire, or we can choose Someone That Inspires Me. Now, any one of these again is a very good title for your story based on the scenario that you were given. Because when we talk about a role model, we are speaking about someone we look up to, someone we admire. And so that's a perfect title if you want to use that. Someone I admire, again, it says one person that motivates you. It means that one person who has inspired your life. And there we have our third title, Someone That Inspires Me. And so any one of these again is a perfect title for this scenario. Let's try one last scenario to find a suitable topic. Traveling by bus, car, or even a boat is always lots of fun. But the best trip was traveling by plane. Write a composition on a journey by plane. Let's go that again. Traveling by bus, car, or even a boat is always lots of fun. But the best trip was traveling by a plane. Write a composition on a journey by plane. Now, when you read that scenario, what title would you want to choose? Let's look at some of the key points here that might help us to formulate our topic. In our scenario, we have the best trip was traveling by plane. And the task says to write a composition on your journey by plane. So some of the suggested titles are My First Plane Ride, A Journey to Remember, or simply Traveling by Plane. Now again, any of these are a good title for your story based on the scenario that you were given. Now here are some of what we did today and a few more titles. Now keep in mind that the title must be short. Let's review some of these. An Adventure to Remember, Helping Around the Home, My First Plane Ride, A Person I Admire, A Scary Experience, The Day My Dog Ran Away. Well, that's our lesson for today on composition writing. I hope that you were able to follow and use the scenarios to help you learn how to create your title or the heading for your story or your composition. Now, in the next lesson, we are going to go more in depth looking at the various parts of your composition. Let's review what those parts are. We have the heading or the title, or you might want to say your topic, the introduction, the main body or the middle, and the conclusion. So boys and girls, please look over the work that we would have done today and be prepared for our next session on composition writing. See you next time on the Writer's Crusade.